Mr. Shaughnessy.
Mr. Shaughnessy.
Mr. Shaughnessy.
Mr. Shaughnessy. Peace with you.
How art thou?
Not too bad, no. Morning client's done. Cup of Joe.
Life's good.
It is.
Can't complain.
No.
Today's YouTube video, we are doing a Q&A. I posted up on Instagram and I prepared my own questions because nobody asked any until the very last minute.
No one cares.
Which happens sometimes, and that's fine. But we actually did end up getting 3 questions. Do you want to know what they're?
Remember them?
You don't know.
I don't know.
3 questions. I want to remember.
I know
3.
who asked them. And fair play to you. You're legends.
I'm out of breath as well because I'm just after training legs. So I'm going to be heavier breathing more than usual.
Vulcan. On the boat, bruh.
Alright, I'll ask my first question.
What about the 3 questions that were
I'll
asked?
ask them. Don't worry, they're in here, Sam.
Alright.
They're in here. I'm like an elephant.
Okay.
I'm the opposite of an elephant. And hopefully the audio is...
It's elephant.
And even today, we have camera 2. Camera 1 and camera 2.
Professional setup.
Alright, my first question, very thought-provoking. Are you natty, bruh? Are you natty, bruh?
I'm gonna get found out.
Yeah?
Yes, I'm natural. I'll be stepping on stage in September, competing in NBFI, which is Natural Bodybuilding Federation of Ireland. So I'm natural, no juice head, no need.
Was there any time where there was a desire?
No.
Never crossed your mind?
No, never.
Liar.
It's that genuinely, and that's probably down to
Pants on fire.
being in the scene of watching yourself and Keen, obviously what you did, how you competed, and then following kind of Keen and Dave's bodybuilding journeys in 2018.
Would have started from 2016 to 2018.
Following that NBFI prep led Dave to kind of watch like natural bodybuilders like Keefe West, AJ Morris, and I remember you making a post about these guys saying like, as a natural, don't limit yourself because you're natural. And I probably went down the rabbit hole of that, and then I got coached by Ramon Limaker as well, who was teen natural bodybuilding world champion. He was an absolute freak at 19 and still is at like 22, 23, so shout out Ramon.
Is he 23?
Yeah.
He is a fucking Belgian blue.
Yeah.
He is a big
A Swiss blue. He's from Switzerland. That's probably fucking racist to them Central European boys.
He is an animal.
So looking at boys like that and seeing what was possible as a natural athlete, I don't know, there's just too much, I think, downsides to taking steroids unless you're going to compete at a top level, and then you have to sacrifice your life to the game, and that's one thing I definitely don't want to do. And the whole idea of documenting the prep and doing this is to show that you can go to the extreme of bodybuilding show and not lose the head. And it's a personal challenge, of course, like that's obvious. It's a personal challenge, and it's relit the fire for my own bodybuilding trend again. So to be brutally honest, the thought of taking gear or taking steroids has never come into my head. I genuinely don't think it ever will.
I'd say most people wouldn't actually resonate with that. Anyone who's stepped in the gym, men more so, have probably considered a cycle. And I'm not saying that just because I considered it. I came close to considering taking the stuff, but thankfully I never did. But most people who step in the gym, and you can see why they would be tempted. Quicker results, better results. That would be, to anyone, that would be, it's like, yeah, I have no reason not to do this. But obviously there's plenty of reason to not take steroids. And I was actually talking to a client about this morning. He was asking me about my opinion on steroids and would I ever take it. That's what spurred me to ask you, because I was having this conversation this morning.
That's a good question.
He was saying, would you ever do it and is it worth it? And I pointed downstairs, I pointed at the wall of Chris Bumstead. And I said, for him, it's worth it. I was like, you have to weigh up the pros and cons of something. It's never black and white, there's pros and cons. I was like, for him, it's worth it because he's 5-time Mr. Olympia champion. He's pulling in millions a year and he's set for life because of
sponsorships, because of taking gear.
Because of taking, not solely because he's taking gear. He was a genetic freak from the beginning, but the gear took him to the next level. Let's be real.
Yeah.
And people in Hollywood, they're getting millions for a role, and if they need to be jacked, then the pros outweigh the cons in that scenario. Whereas
chicken, rice, and broccoli, bro.
Reacher.
And he trains really hard. Reacher.
So
eats chicken, rice, and broccoli and trains hard.
Yeah, like Chris Hemsworth in the last Thor movie. Chicken and broccoli, bro, all the way.
And trains hard.
No, Reacher said he doesn't like to punish his body.
No, he also said he got his blood stone, he was feeling a bit fatigued, but just hopped on a cycle of TRT, but he's not on steroids, he just took a bit of TRT, so...
Testosterone therapy. So it's not taking gear, it's testosterone therapy.
Yeah.
It's all how you label it. But for people like that, the pros outweigh the cons. But for someone, a regular gym goer, who just wants to look good for a night out in Gagans, I think the cons outweigh the pros, especially if you're doing it to try and pull women. Because as we know,
it's only fellas.
Women don't give a fuck.
Man, I was nearly going to make a post on this, talk about it, like how fellas train your glutes for the boys. Because I put up an RDL story there last week, you know what I'm talking about. And I had 21 reactions and messages inclusive, all men.
Yeah. Oh hey, I lived it as well.
All fellas.
Yeah.
Talking about how big my ass was.
Yeah. It's men who respect other men's physique. Women don't give a fuck. Past a certain point, women do not care. So yeah, for people like that, for wanting just to look good for, I said nights out, but just for day-to-day life, I think the cons outweigh the pros because you don't know what you're taking. People think you take X and Y will happen, but with taking a steroid, performance enhancing drug, it's not X to Y, it's X and then a whole cascade of shit happening in your body, how it's affecting you. And yes, you may potentially get bigger, but it's not guaranteed either because I know people who have taken gear and you wouldn't think, looking at them, that they did take gear. So sometimes it doesn't actually even pay off in terms of your size and strength. And that comes down to maybe not knowing what it actually takes to get put on size and put on muscle in the first place, actually training hard, the principles of building muscle, fat loss. I suppose if you were considering taking gear, I would try and reach your natural potential first. But like, that's a forever game. You're never going to reach...
Then hold off on taking gear till you're about 30, 35 at least.
Yeah, because look, you mentioned Keefe West and them boys. They deserve such a huge shout out for how hard they train.
Yeah.
It's insane. These lads over in the UK at the moment, the UK natural bodybuilding scene, these boys are in crazy shape, and it's because they're absolute freaks when they train. Like, you think we train hard, levels to the game, there's levels to the game. These boys would make us look like sissies.
But one thing leading on to that, and it's probably going into my question to you, is how big delayed gratification is in what you're going to be doing, because you're going into a gaining phase. And a big bodybuilder in the UK, Adam Powie, did you ever see him? AJ Morris coaches him. He started his gaining phase 2.5 years ago. The guy is a freak, like, he is huge. You have quads, yes, you have seen him. He's a freak, but he's lean too as well. And even for myself, I'm not even thinking of, like, let's say how, obviously it's crossed my mind how good I'm going to look come September and how lean I'll be looking, but like, it still gets me going to a point where I'm like, how am I going to look at when I'm your age, 26, do you know, because that's another 4 or 5 years of training hard consistently and improving. So like, can you touch on how big you find delayed gratification is in this gig for a natural? Because obviously you can jump on a cycle and blow up, but for a natural,
it's pretty much everything, because muscle building, if you really want a physique that's just like wow, then you need to put muscle on your frame, and that takes a lot of time. And it's more rewarding. Like I'll pull this back to the gear question again. I think it's more rewarding putting on muscle as a natural because you know exactly the mechanism behind it. Whereas if you start taking gear, is that because are you big because you're
external substance?
Yeah, because of the substance, or are you actually doing what's required? So, but that's my own. That's how I feel about it. Not everybody's going to feel the same way. Delayed gratification is huge. Like the way I look now, I love the way I look now, and I've been 13 years this year training.
Would you say now is where you're most proud of your physique as a whole, balanced, proportionate look?
In the last year,
strength, looks wise.
In the last year, yeah. In the last year, I've come to a place where I'm very content with how I look, and even still, I want to push on and keep going.
For the young guys listening.
Absolutely, that's one of the reasons why I love sharing physique updates and sharing the lifts that we put in here in the gym. Because some people are like, "Fuck!" I don't want people to look at that and be like, "Fuck!" I'm so far away from that. It's like, "Fuck!" They don't take anything. They're natural lifters, and they're doing that. Like they can actually lift that, and they can look that way from no external substance. That's what I want people to look at. Boys, girls, men, women. I want people to look at that and be like, I can do that too. Be inspired by it and start applying it to your own situation and give yourself time to get there in your own way.
I talked about this with Paul Dermody, and we were touching on comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah.
Is that Bruce Lee? Didn't he say that? Comparison is the thief of joy. Did he say that?
Bruce Lee said that. Maybe he did. Hey,
Whoa,
you could be
pause
right.
this video right now if you're watching this and look up who the fuck said comparison is the thief of joy. I'm putting my money on Bruce Lee.
I don't think he said it. I could be wrong.
I'm putting my money on Bruce Lee. Anyways, okay? But Paul pointed out then, to a certain extent, he was like, because if you compare, it's how you compare. It's not like, let's say, comparison as a whole is a negative thing, because like that, we're doing it all the time. It's like, you know, you're up in the warehouse, incline dumbbell pressing 60 kg, and it's like you're there fucking doing 37s, 40s. It's like, oh, I need to get close to that. You know, I need to push on and try do that, because like you said, you see these guys like AJ Morris, Keefe West doing the weight they're doing. You see what we're at in the gym. It's like, don't, exactly what he said, don't say I'm so far off the mark. Say, okay, that's something that's achievable. If I put the head down and actually work towards that, I can do it. And you'll be way happier. But like, use that as inspiration for your own training, to not put yourself in a little bubble. Because I think, especially as a natural trainer, you can definitely get into the mindset of limiting yourself with your training and your lifts. And it's like, no, I'm not able to hit that. And even our old brother Keith this morning squatting 160 for what? 2 sets of 5. Do you know, like 6, 2 sets of 6. Like, he's Natty doing that. Like, that's disgusting weight. Some people won't even think of squatting 100 kg for reps. Never mind that weight as a natural. And it just goes to show delayed gratification in this gig, it's everything.
And if you're going to compare, you were saying about like we're in the warehouse and you're looking at me pressing 60s. Compare, if you're going to, I'm 13 years lifting, you're how long?
15 to 26.
Yeah, and if we were to compare your lifts at your age versus my lifts at that age, you're way stronger than I was when I was fucking 21.
I didn't think of that.
Yeah,
I didn't think so.
So, but people don't think of that. People might look at, I'll take Sean Fitz. I'm watching him since late last year, and I have to say that's someone who I'm looking at, and I'm like, damn, because he's close to home. He's Irish. He's 26, 25, 26.
Limerick City.
He's in. Is that where he's from?
Limerick.
He's in great shape. The dude is strong as hell, and I'm not gonna lie, I was inspired by him. He benched 180 kilos, and part of the reason why I'm pushing on my bench is because I seen him bench 180, and I could have looked at it like 180. Fuck.
He's on gear. Fuck.
I'll never get there. But I was like, you know what? Someone close to home did it.
Yeah.
He's natural. He's a natural lifter. I want to do that. There's no reason why I can't do the same thing. But people might look at Sean Fitz and compare themselves and be like, I'll never get that. I'll never get there. But Sean Fitz might be training fucking 8 years, and that person who's looking at Sean might be training 1. It's like,
But as well, he touches on the point of how he's done damn well cuts.
has he touched on that?
Yeah, he said that. Like he said, like Joe, as a young guy, he's like, you're put into this misconception that you need to be lean, have abs, explode now. Yeah,
So right.
no way. Like Joe, I committed to this bulk gaining phase probably 3 years ago when I finished with Ramon. Like I was 79.8 kg, started this cut at 109.4. Like clients will say to me, like, how are you losing so much weight so quickly? Because it's 3 years in the works. You know, so it's only right that this has happened, because basically you could say this diet started 3 years ago, the prep for it. So he touches on that point as well, where you don't need to be going cutting straight away. Like, oh my god, like we see it all the time. Clients come to us and like, want to be skinny, want to be shredded, and it's like,
You need to eat more.
yeah,
Huh?
yeah, exactly.
It's like that black guy we used to say. It's so true.
Yeah.
That's a great point to bring up. And I didn't know he brought up that point, but it makes sense looking at him, because he is an absolute animal. He has massive fucking. He's like a Belgian Bluetooth cunt.
He is. He's huge. But that's where, like, I think gaining phases are fun, because you set them numbers. It's like, get after it.
Exactly.
Do you know? Because like now with the cut, you're kind of on the mindset of your food numbers and your scale numbers. But I think when you're in a gaining phase, the idea, like, you forget about putting on excessive body weight. The fuck that doesn't matter. It's going to come. But the lifts alone that you can hit. Savage.
Yeah, I'm starting to experience that now, because I'm in uncharted territory with a lot of my lifts at the moment.
Hack squat.
And it's fun. Yeah, hack squat just there, did 165 for 10 on set 1 and 8 on set 2. We have to do it next week.
David ass.
David Ass was the reigning champ of the hack squat until today. It was 160 you got for 4 or 5, I believe. So yeah, but the extra calories fuels that. This is my first time doing a gaining phase since I was about 19. I haven't properly, like, with intent
Dialed into it, yeah.
like increased calories. I've been at maintenance for since my last show. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, been a long time. Next question. We'll go back to one of our viewers' questions. Who's a bigger fan of Westlife?
I know that's this.
Everybody's a big fan of Westlife in this gym. It's great, especially when you need a lift at around the 8 p.m. mark.
Westlife Wednesdays. New thing.
The second question was, what's your favourite lift for each body part? And there was a second part to that question. What's your favourite lift, and what lift do you think is the most beneficial for each body part? It's kind of a loaded question. There's a lot going on there.
I went back looking at kind of like the old highlights on the Precision page, and came across a Q&A and got asked that question. What was your main 3 lifts for, like, let's say, like chest, back, legs? And to be honest, I don't think they'd change right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, do you want to share the answer?
I will.
I haven't a clue what he's on about.
So what, we want to start low and work up, or
Whatever you want to go for it.
quads? I have to say I miss barbell back squatting, because I injured my shoulder playing rugby, and for some reason I still can't barbell back squat. When I go into that position, it's just not happening. So I'm currently hack squatting, and I'm loving that. So I'm going to say barbell squat / hack squats. For kind of hamstrings, lower back, I'm going to say RDL. I absolutely love RDLs. I think there's more bang for your buck when it comes to conventional deadlift if your aim the game is hypertrophy. Chest, torn between bench press and dips, or incline dumbbell press. I'm loving all 3 because I'm back dipping again. But I'm going to have to go with one. I'm going to have to say incline dumbbell press. And then back, a wide grip seated row. I'm loving that now.
great movement. We're similar in a lot of those. For me, at the moment for chest, it's bench press. Just because I'm on that buzz, the bench press is it's all go for this year. For back, pull-ups. I heard a noise there. I'm just going to check. The camera. Is there any noise? No, we're still going. 22 minutes. Both cameras still going. For back pull-ups. I love pull-ups. I think pull-ups have been a game changer for me in the last year. Doing weighted pull-ups especially. I do love training back though. There's so many great exercises like the T-bar row. The T-bar row downstairs, I'm going to say is better than the one in the warehouse. Do you know what else I'm loving with back? That single arm cable row. Lovely. Whatever way you want to set it up with the bench, it all feels good. It's really, really nice. The chest support row in the warehouse with the underhand grip, that's really nice. The underhand reverse lat pull down in the warehouse, that's lovely. I'd like to start using that. That's nice. What do you think is the best exercise for each body part and why? It's a tough question because it all depends. It all depends. Yeah, like classic. It's the right answer. It might be the boring answer, but it's the right answer.
We could go down the TikTok, Instagram algorithm trend and be like, this is the best exercise.
And this is shit.
Yeah. But we're not going to do that because we're not going to sell our souls. Okay? We're going to give you the right answer.
It all depends. Like if you're looking for an exercise for the biggest bang for your buck, you're most likely looking at an exercise that will train, that's a multi-joint exercise, meaning there's a few moving parts, so it's going to hit a few muscle groups in the one exercise. But even then, context matters, because like sometimes an isolation exercise might be the best exercise for someone, depending on the client, their needs, preferences, and their goals and their own body's limitations. But we're giving the pure PT answer here. But typically, compound exercises would be your go-to because you're going to be lifting the most weight, working the most muscles, applying the most effort, and probably burning the most calories from a lift that's compound movement. That's my answer.
Yeah, again, like it all depends because then I'd 100% agree with that. But then, let's say you're doing a barbell row or you're doing a pull-up. To teach someone how to actually feel their back muscles working, I love when clients are just doing a bicep curl because then they're like, that's how that feels. So then they can distinguish between that when they're doing it. So see how this question,
you can go.
There's so many ways to come about it, but I do think for a Gen Pop client coming in the door has to pick 5 exercises to train. Go for your compounds. Like if you do, like let's say a deadlift variation.
Variation is the important word there, yeah.
Squat variation, horizontal push,
horizontal pull, vertical push.
I think you're pretty solid there.
Yeah.
So, and then it's all about how you stick to it.
That's important as well, to factor in what is optimal for your body, but then also what's going to give you a good kick. You're going to get a good kick out of in your session. What's going to bring enjoyment, because then you're more likely to actually get into the gym first and foremost because you like what you're doing, and you're going to stick to it longer to see results and get better results.
I think that's pretty solid answer.
Do you know what a bidet is?
Oh, I see Mark Norman.
A bidet? He was on about a bidet.
Yeah. It's a hat, is it?
A bidet?
He made a joke, he's like, I love bidet, especially the fluffy ones. What's bidet? Is it scarf?
I might have this wrong, but I'm pretty sure a bidet is the chat beside the toilet where you wash your hole.
He likes fluffy bidets. Jeez, I don't know.
You know what I'm on about? You know when you go on
I only
holidays?
found that out was for your ass.
Yeah.
On holidays, and I thought it was for your
Italy.
feet.
Italy, yeah.
Was it you? Yeah, I thought it was for your feet. Because when you come back from the beach, you stick your feet in it. But I've been basically putting my feet in
Where people wash their ass.
ass, shitty
Yeah,
bats.
Yeah.
To me, it's weird. It doesn't make any sense.
No, I think we should have. Why don't we have them in this country? We should.
No.
No. We
No.
should. We should. We should definitely have bidets in this country. It's hygienic. I remember the first time I heard about this was from News of Feet when I was in St. Pat's in primary school. I don't know how it got brought up, but he was telling me he had one of these, and I thought it was the weirdest thing ever. And he looked at me and he was like, "No, it's weird that you don't do it." And he's dead right. He was dead
What
right.
about the toilets that do it for you?
That deli, if you have one of those, we don't have one of them.
Yeah, I know, but they'd be class like you see in China.
And the reason I bring this up is because of how much I'm going to the toilet. If you were to ask me what the hardest thing about this gaining phase is the amount of times I have to go to the toilet. It's tough.
It's not nice.
It's tough. I'm not gonna lie, it's getting to me.
When I was eating 5,000 calories, I'd say definitely minimum, I mean minimum 8.
Oh, you
minimum.
were 8 times?
Minimum.
I started experiencing that
Minimum.
since last week.
And that's
8 times.
not a joke. And clients laugh and they're like, that's crazy. It is
Hurts.
crazy.
That's why we need a bidet. Because what's getting me through this is just either like wipes or wetting the tissue.
Oh my god.
Hey, look, that might be TAY, but it's a game changer. And look, you don't need to tell us that you tried it, but I suggest you go try it. Before you wipe your ass, wet the tissue.
Oh my god.
For the best possibly wiping experience you can have.
Are we fixed?
How are we fixed?
Is there any more? Is that it?
Oh, that was all the questions from the viewers.
Thanks again.
Why are you saying? Oh yeah, thanks everybody.
My
Ross.
fucking thing.
Is it 10 to 3?
Yeah. Jeez.
Jeez, I could have stayed going. I
We love talking
I
shit.
think I asked you too. I would have like a full list of 10.
Part 1.
It was, are you Natty bro? And do you know what a bidet is?
Fucking 40 minutes to get through 2 questions.
Alright, we have to leave it there, but that was a lot of fun. Kyle, thank you for coming on.
Thanks yourself, G.
I was going to say reach out to Kyle, but follow, I'll link his channel below and his socials. Follow him along as he gets ready for his natural bodybuilding competition, his first one.
I'm not
And
shaking.
we didn't even get into the weighted vest. We have lots to talk about.
We can get into that at the time.
Exactly, yeah, we have lots to talk about. So, until next time.
Good luck.